I am in Jeremy's game, and he finds new ways every couple of weeks to thwart our attempts to save the world, as happens. I run a plane hopping campaign that's been in the Feywild, the Shadowfell, and now they've gone on to Sigil. I've been looking at a little of the old Planescape books for that material for that. I have been attending D&D Encounters weekly since it started, both as a player and as a DM. I do a weekly Gamma World game that Trevor Kidd is in. And as I was saying earlier, he was the person that blew himself up to help take out the bad guys.
That's dedication. No, I just really wanted to make another character.
Yeah. And then I shot that character with a rocket.
Yeah.
I also, I've got to keep track of all of them. What am I forgetting? I've been doing a lot of Magic with the Internal League. I am part of the Grazing Lands for Mike. And I feel like I'm forgetting one of the... Oh, yeah, Mike's Monday game. So, yeah, the Astral Sea.
Anyone willing to admit playing Pathfinder?
If I played, I'd tell you. You know, 3rd edition was a good game. But now I'm playing 4th. So.
Is there any plan to release the series of encounters from the Ultimate Elf from last Gencon Dungeon article? And that was the first question. And the second question is, are you guys planning on doing any support for the like the iOS, like the iPhone operating system for iPad for the character builder?
So the first question, were we going to release last year's Delve? Again, like with the Encounters season, at the moment there's no specific plan, but I'll take that back and we'll talk about it. As for other operating systems, like for the iPad and things like that, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to digital stuff, we have learned not to say anything until the project is ready to ship. So I'm going to plead the fifth and tell you, not at the moment.
Please work on it.
I'm always working on stuff.
So, you know, by middle of next year, fallish, whatever, Q3, we'll have something like, what, 4 or 5 books of monsters, somewhere around there, right? Would you ever see yourself putting out a book of skill challenges? Same thing, just because skill challenges are level independent. One, you just need lots of different formats, drop them into any game, one to third.
The question was, would we ever put out a book of skill challenges like we do monster manuals? Well, my first question to you guys is that something that Dungeon Masters out there want?
That'd be a sweet long-running DEI article or something like that.
All right, Mike, get on that. All right, come back around this way.
Have you guys done anything to have an alternative to the parcel system that's ingrained into the edition?
Wants to know if we have an alternative to the parcel system for treasure allocation. Yeah, I'm going to let Steve answer this one.
Yes, I'm actually going to let Jeremy answer this one because he's seen it more recently. Well, in the DM kit, and not actually it appears in the rules compendium as well, we give the DM the option of doing random treasure. So if the DM just does not have time to pick every piece of treasure, we've brought back the option of, hey, roll on a table.
I made the
But also, our suggestions for treasure allocation are different in the DM kit and also in the rules compendium because of our new rarity scheme. And so we give advice to the DM of giving out, you know, a certain proportion of common items versus uncommon items versus those, again, spectacular rare items.
But what about pricing?
Pricing has not changed, although sell pricing has. If you, for some bizarre reason, want to sell off a rare item or an uncommon item, and there's actually someone who will buy it from you, you will get more gold than you would for selling a common item.
Or more residuum if you dust it.
And you know, if you like the old system, it's still there and you can use it too. So. Back row.
Dark Summit, oh, back row.
Back row.
What's the plan, if any, for Dragonlance?
Dragonlance continues to release novels, and anything else is beyond what I've talked about today, so I can't tell you. But there is a plan. Anyone else in the back right there? Yes. Yes.
I want Dark Sun material and character builder.
With the updates, it'll get there. Yeah.
Wait, when?
I don't know. Soon. It's usually the month after, right?
When then becomes now.
Yeah. So Dark Sun in the character builder shortly, along its normal cycle. Did I miss another question? No. Okay. Right there.
I didn't see a whole lot of new races coming along, and your player strategy guide shows a glaring hole in the attribute combinations that you have. And I guess the secondary question to that, besides are you going to have a Con Int race, is are you going to retrofit the other races to have a choice on their secondary attributes?
Get down deep.
All right, well, I can repeat the part that I definitely know the answer to, which is the final question. Will we retrofit the races and players' essentials to have the choice? Yes, we will.
So you also asked about new races. There are some new races in Heroes of Shadow.
Yes.
But we also don't believe that we need to give you 700,000 races. So we're trying a new thing.
I was more concerned with the combinations.
And with the combinations, the other part of your question was, will we ever see an int-con race? You know, we don't have this big grid on the wall, and we don't feel the need to fill every box in that grid. If a good idea comes along, we'll consider it. But so far, a good idea hasn't come along just to fill a box. So.
For those of us who have most of the 4E stuff, players have DDI subscriptions, group that's been together for a while. Of the essentials line, besides the rules compendium, maybe the Dungeon Tiles master sets, what other of those products do you expect that kind of a group to be looking at?
I think they want to look at them all. I didn't say buy them all. I said look at them all and see what's in there. There are new builds in the 2-player books, and somebody's going to want something, you know, some existing player is going to want to play a Slayer or add some of the Slayer's abilities to their fighter. For the Monster Vault, it's all kinds of new monsters. You know, that yes, they're kobolds, but they're different builds of kobolds.
So there's no real redundancy between the Monster Vault and what exists today in terms of the monster manuals?
It's redundant. There are
the same types of monsters.
They're the same types of monsters, but they're new builds. There are some that we picked up because if this is your first thing, you need that kobold minion. But there are also new ones. So yeah, and the red box is just a nostalgia item. If you don't need to get it for your nostalgia's sake, you guys, the red box is not for you, right? But if you do want it for your collection because it looks cool, please go ahead and get it.
Does the red box include Player's Handbook errata for the basic stuff?
The red box?
Yeah. Well, any of the essential stuff. Is all the errata worked in?
There is. So the question is, does the red box or any of the essentials products incorporate errata? And the short answer is yes, in the sense that everything in the essentials is current. If we picked up something from the Player's Handbook or from some other power source book and it's reprinted in the essentials products, then that version is the current and correct version. If a previous power, like say Lightning Bolt for the Mage, was reprinted and there are changes to it in the essentials line, an update is released for the Player's Handbook to say, okay, Lightning Bolt now has the evocation keyword, does half damage on a miss, that kind of thing. The same way that Magic Missile now appears in, we just released an update for it, that version of it appears in the essentials products. Also, the rules compendium contains the most current version of all of the general rules. So any updates we've issued for any of our combat rules or for conditions, which we have done, all of those updates are incorporated in the rules compendium.
Some material in Essentials was altered in formatting, but where there were mechanical changes, those will be appearing in a document that tells you, the players who are coming from that older material, what's been changed.
Let's see. I'm coming up, and then I'll come back around. Right there.
What was the thinking behind avoiding encountering daily powers with psionic characters?
Sure. So the question was like, what it basically boils down to the shift in psionic power source away from encounter powers. So really, the idea was as we and this is almost like basically a natural evolution to where we led to some of the Essentials design. We looked after the first 2 players' handbooks. We had the power structure in place. And the feeling was, well, can we grow beyond this? Is there something more interesting, or not more interesting, something new and different that would be interesting to an established player that we can do that gives you a different experience playing a character? And when we looked at Psionics, in 3rd edition, one of the really key things for Psionics was the power points. That's something that, I mean, some people didn't like them, but a lot of people who did pick up Psionics, and that's what they liked about it, like that flexibility. So when we sat down to design it, we really just want to say, look, what's, starting with the story of Psionics in D&D, what's the best mechanic to reflect that? Not necessarily saying, well, this is the structure we have, let's fit Psionics into that structure. We wanted to do the reverse. So that's really the thinking behind that.
Does Wizards of the Coast have any plans as far as the hardbound books to sell them as PDFs, ebooks, or access through DBI?
We're going to do PDFs or other books in some kind of electronic format. Right now, a number of our novels are being sold as ebooks. As for the game material, you're going to get my stock answer. We're working on it, but I'm not ready to tell you exactly what's coming. But we will be telling you shortly.
Will all the new Essentials materials be incorporated into DDI? And you had mentioned monsters having pictures with every monster so you can know what they were. In the monster builder, that's one of the things that drives me crazy is, I don't know what an abolist is, and I have to look up, it's a mechanical crossbow. So, I have them walking around with human figures, and one of my players goes, that's a crossbow.
So the question was, will we be incorporating this material into, the Essentials material into DDI? Well, first, if you had the monster manual, you would have got a picture. Isn't there a picture of the Arbalist? Yeah, there's a picture in the book.
Right. I just saw the character stat and went, oh, that works well, and I used it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we'd like to move toward having the art in there. That will come with an update in the future. As for the Essentials into DDI, our normal updates will occur.